A high-value political prisoner has been executed. His body now sits inside a secure vault, blocked by tons of rock and guarded by state-sanctioned killers. To ensure the movement died with its leader, the Roman governor ordered the tomb secured. A Roman guard unit took up their posts, and a leather cord was stretched across the stone, sealed in place with imperial wax. Breaking that seal was an act of war against the emperor. Carved into solid rock, the tomb was protected by a 2-ton limestone disc. It rolled down a trench into a deep groove. Yet 48 hours later, the seal is broken. The massive stone is pushed uphill out of the groove, and the body has vanished. To find out who moved it, we have to look at the groups with the motive and the means to tamper with the scene. The followers of Jesus had a clear motive. If they could fake a resurrection, they could save their movement and prove their master's prophecies were true. The official narrative was that the guards fell asleep while the disciples stole the body. But in the Roman military, sleeping on watch was a capital offense. And if the guards were truly unconscious, they could not possibly identify who committed the crime. Furthermore, moving 2 tons of solid limestone uphill is a massive, loud, grinding operation. It would make anyone nearby. There is also the psychological reality. The disciples had just fled in fear. People do not endure execution for a hoax they know they invented. Then there is the power of the state itself. The authorities feared the tomb would become a rallying point for a new rebellion, making it logical to relocate the body to an unmarked grave. But if the Roman or Jewish leaders had moved the body, they could have ended Christianity instantly. When the apostles began preaching in the streets, the authorities only had to produce the corpse to prove them wrong. Instead, history records them paying the guards to spread a rumor. You don't pay a bribe if you have evidence to win the argument. The followers lacked the courage and the means, and the state clearly lacked the body. Common thieves might have targeted the wealthy mausoleum. The 75 pounds of burial spices and the fine linen shroud were worth a fortune, but grave robbers avoid armed soldiers, and the crime scene doesn't look like a robbery. Thieves don't take the time to unwrap a body, leave the expensive fabrics behind, and neatly fold the headcloth. There is also the theory that Jesus never actually died, that he woke up in the cool of the tomb. Medical science says otherwise. Roman scourging and crucifixion led to massive blood loss and respiratory failure. He was pierced through the heart with a lance. Even if he survived, he would have been trapped. From the inside of the tomb, there is no leverage. A man suffering from organ failure could not push a 2-ton stone uphill out of a trench. An earthquake might theoretically dislodge a boulder in this seismically active valley, but tremors don't unwrap bodies or fold grave clothes. Every human or natural explanation for the empty tomb eventually violates the laws of physics or the realities of human behavior. Historical texts point to a phenomenon that paralyzed the guards. They describe a descent that rolled the stone back and left the elite soldiers unconscious. But if the resurrected figure could later appear in locked rooms without using a door, why was the stone moved at all? The stone didn't move to let him out. It moved to let the witnesses in. The open tomb allowed for immediate inspection. When the first visitors arrived, they could see the collapsed linens and the empty slab for themselves. This map shows how quickly the message spread across the empire. It began in Jerusalem, the exact city where the execution took place. You cannot build a movement on a missing body in the city where the tomb is located unless that tomb is empty. Most world religions build shrines over the bones of their founders. This movement is defined by the fact that those bones are missing. The rolled stone forced history to account for a massive anomaly. It shifted the burden of proof to the skeptic and proposed that death is not a destination, but a doorway.